Yeah, son. People out there in TV land, this is the official DLC Guys podcast show. I'm your host, Matt Bailey, along with my equal but toast fresh co-host, Mr.
Xander Todd.
That's my bad. Mr. Xander Todd.
Oh, yeah.
And we are coming at you live from the DF Dub circa May 22nd, 2019. Xander, how we doing today?
We're back.
We're back.
And we back. And we back.
We back. You sing that song every single time we come back. That's something. Maybe that's just something we should say every single episode. And we back. And we back.
Hey, we back. I'm excited. I'm ready to jump into.
I'm ready to get back into it as well. Man, it's good to be back.
Yes.
Let's jump into some of the biggest news that we got. Xander, have you heard of PlayStation Productions?
No. You was telling me about this a little bit before the show, but I have not heard about it. What is it?
All right. So, PlayStation Productions is Sony's new venture to bring all of their IPs, that stands for intellectual properties, into the movie and television arena.
So they're basically creating game movies
and television
shows.
Yes.
Okay. I guess how do you feel about this?
I think it's amazing because Sony has some of the best IPs out there. Because now correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Naughty Dog a part of the PlayStation?
Yes, they
group?
Are exclusive to PlayStation.
So
far.
So we have a chance of having so many amazing games that have great stories being made into a movie.
Yeah, I can see. You know what?
Or a TV show to get more depth of like character development or whatever.
Remember, was it 2 years ago when we were watching PlayStation Experience or E3 when they had Michael Brian Bendis? What was that show that he did with Sony, and you can only watch it on PlayStation?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name of it right now.
So they dabbled in this a little bit.
Yes, but now they've made it totes of fish, bro.
So, okay, what video game?
Hey there, Miss Evelyn.
We got Miss Evelyn walking by. What video game do you want to see made into a TV show? Of course, Last of Us.
Yeah. I would love to see of course Uncharted. I'd like to see Uncharted as a movie.
And a lot of people already say that it's just a.
I mean, it is a movie, but I want to see it like adapted for the big screen because I think that would.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tons of source material that doesn't necessarily have to be redone. There's a great story there, so just bringing it there. Actually, I don't know.
But here's the thing. This is what makes me kind of weary. Is that I'm a huge Marvel fan, right? Sony has messed up Spider-Man numerous times.
Okay. But
so,
Sony doesn't own the rights to Spider-Man, do they?
Not anymore, but they used to. That's why they had to give them up because they kept messing it up.
Okay, so we don't got to worry about that.
I know.
So what's your problem?
I'm saying that their track record for adapting things into movies is not that great.
But the people writing for... Okay. I see where you're going with that. My counter to that is you can't give a blanket statement for all that because we have games that have such great stories within themselves.
Yeah.
And I think Sony took something and they were trying to adapt, what their spin on a character that was already created that wasn't their intellectual property.
Yeah.
So they were trying to recreate something that was already there and then make it new at the same time. But with these games, it's like they already have in mind what kind of story they want to tell. And I think it could be something along the lines of when Halo 5 came out, they had a podcast that came out called Hunt the Truth. And basically it was kind of the backstory of what was happening, what was going to happen with Halo 5 and what was going on with the Master Chief. So it was great storytelling from that standpoint. And I believe it kind of enhanced a little bit of the story, even though I feel like the Halo 5 story was kind of garbage. Did you ever play it, or did you ever see it?
Nah, I never played it.
Well, it was lackluster.
So what was the game on Xbox that came out and was supposed to have a show with it? And the majority of the decisions that people made in the game
would affect it was like
Alan Wake or it was something, I don't know. Basically
was
what
it
I'm
like
saying,
a superhero show or something like that?
It was something like that. But I can see this being good in a way of it being very interactive.
Yeah.
With current games. That could be, I mean, have you been on Netflix recently?
Sure.
So, some of those Netflix shows are interactive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty cool.
The Bear Grylls one, and then
me and my kids did the Bear Grylls one.
And then Minecraft Story Edition.
Minecraft Story mode. They also had Black Mirror had one as well.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't done that one yet, but I want to do that one.
Yeah.
But I can see that being a success. I don't know if you can do that with a movie, but definitely with a television show.
Oh, yeah.
That it can be interactive. I mean, I can see Nathan Drake, Uncharted. I can see The Last of Us. What's this game that they reached? Days Gone.
Yeah, that's one.
I can see a show like that. And, I mean, I don't know. I got mixed feelings because of the whole Spider-Man thing with Sony, but I will be checking it out to see exactly what they're doing. And everybody is moving to this kind of platform too, where they have their own streaming, own original content.
Yeah. I think I'd like to see a Crash Bandicoot TV
cartoon
show. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of TV series. That'd be pretty cool. What other? Let's see.
So we're looking at the game list of Naughty Dog.
Dream Zone, haven't heard of that. King Rise, Power. I don't know. They have a few games that are cool. Jack and Daxter might be okay as a TV show.
We talked about Uncharted, Last of Us. What else do they have?
Yeah, that's it. Last of Us.
And of course, there are other studios too that Sony has that they're. I mean,
one that I think would be pretty cool is I'd like to see kind of like an animated movie of Knack.
Knack, okay, yeah. I can see that.
The storyline is kind of cheesy, but the gameplay is pretty good. So I'd like to see how they could.
Did you play Knack 2?
No, I didn't play Knack 2.
Okay. I remember when it came out.
I played. Did I get Knack 2? I don't know. No, I didn't get Knack 2, but okay. I got the first one. I did like the first one though.
So I'm here to check it out. It would be good if it was just an added bonus to the PlayStation subscription, which it should be.
Excuse me.
I don't know if I would pay extra to see Sony content. It just has to be really good.
Yeah, I completely get what you're saying. It would have to be something that is entertaining, and just you can't not see it. It has to be Avengers kind of, or movie, that kind of movie status.
That's why I said Last of Us is probably before The Walking Dead went down the drain.
Oh yeah.
I can see The Last of Us really digging deep into some backstories of other people, other experiences during the time of Last of Us.
Speaking of that, did you happen to see Black Summer on Netflix?
I watched it a little bit. Like, it's crazy. It's cool.
I think it's dope.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. I haven't gotten too deep into it yet.
I think it's pretty cool. I liked it a lot. But
now, could we see? Speaking of like Black Summer, could we see a movie coming first, then a video game with Sony? Because right now we're thinking video game to a movie or show.
Yeah.
Could we see the show or?
I don't think right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see that happening. There's a lot of titles that they have to choose from. I could see like somebody said a Gran Turismo movie. I could see something like that.
Fast and Furious.
Yeah, something along those lines or something. But I just don't see them making a movie and then having it turn into a game. I don't think they have that credibility to be able to do that right now.
Yeah, it depends on the writers and the recruitment that they have. Because we will all want to see a Games of Thrones game. I think. Like yeah, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But who is there has been a couple of Game of Thrones games.
Telltale.
Yeah, Telltale did those.
Telltale was good.
I thought it was pretty. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess because of the type of gamer I am, I want to see all these games like open world where like I make decisions and of course Telltale is like that, but it's still Telltale is one of those games where of course you make choices, but it's still linear.
Yeah.
Like you can only make so many choices.
Right. And you can only go certain places like within your designated box area.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons I didn't like Telltale games so much.
And I think they're gone now.
Are they?
Yeah, I think Telltale games are gone. But we'll see with this PlayStation production.
Yes, we shall see.
I'm not paying for it. It has to be extremely you have to have a great TV show, but I'm not paying.
Oh yeah.
I'm tired of paying all these subscriptions.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like subscription services have ruined us. Even though that's what we wanted, we wanted to pay for content that we only watch, but the way that we're getting this content is not the way that we envisioned it.
Well, what happened with it is that Netflix came out, changed the game.
Yeah.
So everybody was happy. Then you have somebody like Disney that's saying, hold on, our content is on Netflix and we're getting this amount of numbers, this amount of views from that content. Why don't we just make our own streaming platform and cut out the middleman?
Yeah.
And now everybody is following suit. Like CBS has their I want to watch the Twilight Zone remake with what's his name?
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele. But you have to buy a CBS subscription. So everybody's playing the content game, and how do we profit more off of our original content? Spectrum has their own TV show, so yeah.
Wow. I just read that Telltale Games is no longer.
Yeah, they shut it down last year.
Why?
That was a surprise. I don't know why, but I thought they were selling good games, but you never know.
Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Games, yeah.
Well, my thoughts on PlayStation Productions is I'm anxiously waiting to see what happens. So I'm waiting. I am a little bit anxious, but not to the point where it's like I'm freaking out. It's like, come on, let's make this. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Here's what's happening. it's a lot of news coming out with PlayStation and Xbox, which brings us to our next point. Of PlayStation and Xbox coming together for streaming games. So what's happening right before our eyes is that the landscape for gaming is changing rapidly, especially after the Google Stadia? Yeah.
Google Stadia is
like streaming games.
Release.
So the unlikely has happened.
We said they will never, and we have a podcast where we talked about this. We said they will never not make physical copies of games, and now we are getting to the point where that is becoming a reality. And we talked,
and I made this point in that podcast. Think about it. When was the last time you bought a music CD?
It's been a long time.
Even if you don't have a streaming service, you can stream it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And now Microsoft and PlayStation are coming together. I think we both think this is because Google Stadia is really pushing them to the edge. Which is good for us.
It is. I think it's about time that they have collaborated on something. It's always been Microsoft behind the curve to PlayStation, except for when, for 5-6 years when Xbox first came out. Xbox was ruling the world, and then PlayStation 4, basically when PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4 came out, PlayStation was ruling everything.
Even PlayStation 3 was more technologically advanced, but it just was, it cost so much.
Yeah, marketing was just not very well. But the fact that we are at a point where nobody really envisioned this, and this came out of nowhere.
So tell them more about it if you don't know.
Okay, so if you don't know, Google announced that they were getting into the video game market with their device called the Stadia. And so essentially what the Google Stadia is, it's a platform that is kind of like a streaming-based service for video games. In the same sense that you have Steam or you have Netflix, where you can access these games. And what they've essentially promised the gamers is it doesn't matter what type of device you have, whether it's a phone, a tablet, a computer, your hardware does not matter when it comes to playing top tier games. You just stream them as long as you have a good enough upload and a good download speed. Wherever you are, you can game. And you don't have to use their specified controller. However, you can use that, but you don't have to do that. And their controller is just regular. Their controller is connected via Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth, so it connects with just about every single device there is. And they in the demo they explain how you can go from watching somebody play a game on YouTube and through the YouTube app end up playing the game within seconds. And like I said, if they can follow through on this promise, it's completely going to change how games are played. You're already starting to see with Microsoft and Sony. Hey, Ms. Evelyn. You're already starting to see that Sony more than anything is what I'm shocked at, because Sony has for years said, no, we are not going to collaborate with Microsoft for cross platform play.
And you know who opened up this door though? Fortnite.
Oh yeah.
Fortnite kind of forced them.
They did to
do crossplay.
They certainly did.
Yeah. And Rocket League. But I think Fortnite was the last frontier for them.
I agree with that.
And this shows you this is great for gamers.
Oh yeah.
Great for gamers, because now we're going to get the best of the best. So much news from PlayStation though. I recently saw a demo, and we'll show the video of the PlayStation Pro against the PlayStation 5 and the loading times.
Should be able to see it right now.
Yeah, the loading time was I think it was around 10 seconds. and then the loading time for the new PlayStation was like 0.8
Look
seconds.
at that.
Like,
look at that. It's still going, and
they showed the
it loaded several times.
Yeah, the
before the other one got done.
Spider-Man loading screen.
Yeah.
And so like, PlayStation is they're pushing it, and you know what surprises me the most is that why did PlayStation need Microsoft? I can see Microsoft needing PlayStation, but does it talk about why Sony decided to do it? Is it Microsoft established servers for cloud services?
I don't. That's a great question.
Because it seemed like Sony didn't really need Microsoft.
They don't. They really don't. However, I think Microsoft's reach is greater than Sony's. So
in the US probably.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. I think Microsoft has access to way more. What's the servers?
That's what I think. I think it's a cloud thing.
Yeah, kind of like what you're saying.
Because
they have to. I mean, they have all this stuff with Windows and pushing out all these different software updates for that. So of course,
think
they
about
have
it like what Windows, like you said, exactly what you just said. Windows will allow them to almost do essentially what Google Stadia is doing, right?
Yeah, it most certainly will.
The only thing though is that
Sony doesn't have that.
It's still going to be limited. Google Stadia still has them because on my Mac, I have a MacBook Pro. I can use a Chrome browser.
Yeah.
But I can't use a Windows browser unless I do some stuff, some stuff that the normal person wouldn't do, like double booting it and stuff.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
double booting.
But as a gamer, I'm excited. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, did they give us any more details though?
Not really. They just said that they're teaming up to fend off larger gaming threats.
And shout out to the new president for Microsoft. He's not new. He's been there for a couple of years now.
Yeah. Ever since they fired old dude, it was like
was it Phil? Or is that the new dude? I don't know.
Was it? No. Was it Phil Spencer? I think they did fire Phil Spencer right after he came. Right after the Xbox One came out, and they were like, "Well, you got to keep it. You have to keep your Xbox on." And he was like, "Well, if you don't want to keep it on, I mean, we got a great offline console, the Xbox 360. You could go pick up."
And then here's the kicker: we will always support what was the camera that Microsoft had?
Oh yeah, the Kinect.
We will always support the Kinect.
Less than a year later,
the Kinect will no longer have.
As a matter of fact, it was like 6 months, less than 6 months.
So it became irrelevant.
They came out. I don't know anybody that still has a Kinect. If you have a Kinect, just drop a picture
of your Kinect
in the comments and say, "Can you even drop pictures?" I don't think you can drop pictures. Just comment. Let us know if you have a Kinect.
Yeah.
For some crazy reason. And what
do you use it for now?
Yes. What do you use it for?
But I mean,
if anything.
Yeah. I don't even think the Xbox One S or Xbox
it's too
One
many
X.
Of it's too many of them.
Has a port for it anymore. So.
And now
you have to have the original Xbox One.
And now Xbox has this streaming Xbox that they're coming out with. It's supposed to be announced at E3.
I think it's being released on the 24th. Or pre-orders. It's already.
They've already. Okay, well,
yeah, it's been announced.
I'm behind the curve on that one then.
But I'm ready to see. And here's the thing, though. So PlayStation has already announced that there will be a physical PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know if it's called PlayStation 5, but this is confirmed that it will be a PlayStation 5. And now they come out saying that they're going to also do streaming. So, I mean, the only threat I see is Google Stadia I can't see them being concerned with the Nintendo Switch because the Nintendo Switch is gonna sell.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like that's just a niche group.
Yeah, Nintendo they have their IPs.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. Did they give us a date on when they are gonna give us more details?
No. We don't have any other details other than just that they're working with each other now.
Man. I mean, I guess the next step will be to see the pricing of Google Stadia. To see, I mean, they got to compete.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the best price either way.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's great.
Man, gaming is changing.
And we couldn't be any more happy.
Yep.
All right, so with the new technology coming out,
Google isn't done.
They're not done. New everything. Google just announced that they have a new Google Glass headset. That it's not really being marketed towards consumers, but it is being marketed towards businesses.
When was the first time we saw it? This was like 3 years ago, right?
It was like 4
years ago?
4 or 5 years ago.
We thought it was one of the coolest things.
Yeah. I mean, because they had, you would be able to have something show up on your Google Lens, Google Glasses or whatever, Google Lens headset. Like if you were...
like an Iron Man thing or something.
Yeah. What was it? Was it like if you were doing Google Maps, like the turn by turn notifications would show up through your lens and tell you where to turn, where you're going, give you information, let you know who is sending you a message or something. Yeah, and it was supposed to be amazing.
Yeah,
and then
I think the downfall was how would it be in the public? Like, could you imagine people like using that while they're driving? Now, it would be cool for the directions, but you got to know there's some people that's going to be watching Netflix too.
Yeah. Well, if that was even capable of doing it, but then you also have to account for people like myself who wear glasses. You're not going to be able to wear that.
And then even for people that don't wear glasses, like, I mean, it was just a lot of restrictions on it. It had to be a super niche, and I believe that the price point they had was like out of the reach of like the normal consumer, or something like that. So it would have had to been a super niche group of people to buy this product. Yeah. So they're bringing it back though.
They are, and so the some of the information that we have on it right now is basically the Google Glass. It's called the Enterprise Edition 2. The starting price tag is $999, so right at $1,000. And it's coming equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon XR1 platform, or excuse me, that's what it's powered by. It has a 1.7 gigahertz CPU built on something built into it. Anyways,
and a battery, 570 milliamp.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. 820 milliamp battery.
Yeah.
Okay, so the battery got bigger, but it's not much bigger.
Yeah, it's for what it is. It seems
like
it
should
it's
be
okay.
able to power.
It's got 3 gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of storage, an 8 megapixel camera, charging via USB-C.
People just
Bluetooth 5. Like, okay, that sounds pretty okay. It's kind of lower specs than what I would expect for right now. But like my question is, what are people going to be using this for?
Yeah.
In the enterprise solutions, in a business setting, what are you going to use it for?
And here's the thing for technology. I think we got to a point where we just keep adding different features. Nothing is revolutionary right now.
Yeah.
Because you think about this, and I'm in the Apple ecosystem, but the Apple Watch, I don't see, like any smartwatch really. Like I see the pull towards it because you can do certain things like your text messages, you can answer a call.
Yeah.
But like it just feels like more features. It doesn't feel innovative.
Yeah.
Like, so these glasses to me feel the same way. Like, okay, I can put the glasses on and I can see a screen in front of my. It just doesn't feel like I don't feel like we're taking that next step.
Yeah.
In innovation.
It feels like an incremental update, not a significant improvement.
Yeah, like when I know how you feel about Apple, but you have to admit this. When the iPhone first came out, like when Steve Jobs was alive, that was innovative. Like the first iPhone, people were like, this changed the game. Like, people were using MP3 players.
Yeah.
People couldn't. I mean, we were excited about having Flash on the phone.
Yeah. Oh
like,
my God.
And Apple, I mean, I was a part of Android then, but people that had iPhones, they were watching videos way before. I mean, when Steve Jobs was alive, Apple was ahead of the curve on everybody.
I won't say that he was ahead of the curve because a lot of the stuff that they came out with, they stole the technology and rebranded it as something as Apple's own something else.
They made it, but they probably did, but they made it. You got to agree that they made it 1,000 times better.
They were, what's the word? Ingenuitive. I don't know if that's even the right word or even a word. But where the ingenuity came from was how they incorporated it with their technology and how it was marketed to the masses.
Yeah.
Because the technology had been out there, people were already using it, but it wasn't marketed to the common consumer because it was thought of as, hey, this is something that you know, hey, I got this, I'm better than you. You know, I mean, people used to roll up on people and like flex out. Where's your Palm Pilot, bro? I got this Palm Pilot, man. Yeah. Bam.
And I mean, we saw. Here's the thing. I think that, and that's why I'm kind of like deciding what I should do, like which ecosystem. I still love Apple. I wasn't a part of Apple when they first started, but I remember the changing factor was just how integrated everything was.
Oh yeah.
But back to my point, I just felt like during the Steve Jobs era, like we just saw technology jumping, and that may have been Android pushing Steve Jobs and Steve Jobs pushing Android.
Yeah,
you know, they were pushing each other. So we went from Blackberries, Palm Pilots, Heroes, the first generation Apple phones. Like, I mean, now every phone essentially looks the same.
They do. And whoever comes out with the first new design of a phone, everybody copies it.
And yeah, like the Samsung Fold.
Yes.
Like Huawei came out with theirs, you know,
and
but
theirs didn't break.
And here's the thing though, that's still like a gimmick. So that's the word I want to use. Google Glass right now still seems like a gimmick. It doesn't seem like something that I need that would change my life.
Yeah, I get you. I understand.
And then you're gonna look like a douchebag, where like, oh, I can see the directions.
I know where it is.
I know exactly where it is. Let me use my Google Glass that I spent $1,000 on, and I'll get 2 hours of usage out of it before I have to plug it back up.
It's like way to flex on me, bro.
Yeah, like, okay, cool. I can see the directions too on my phone. Like,
I'll probably get there faster
than you. And I mean, you got to think about $1,000
for a pair of glasses.
Yeah.
Which brings me up to this question: Are we as a society or as consumers, are we saying, okay, we're done with VR and AR, virtual reality, augmented reality? Are we done with that? Because not much advancement has been made other than Oculus, which Oculus seems to be the only people that are advancing the virtual world or virtual reality. They just came out with a headset. What is it like? It's like $400 or $500, where you don't need any wires, you don't need anything to hook up. It has its own battery supply and will work by itself via its own battery, rechargeable batteries. But you can like view and do everything without having to be hooked up.
Ready Player One?
No.
So in Ready Player One, of course, it's based off of a book, but Steven Spielberg did the movie. It was basically this world where everybody lived virtually. Like basically, like you kind of got on this. You put on this suit.
It's basically Half-Life.
Yeah, you put on this suit. You put on the VR.
Not Half-Life. I had to say next. Go ahead.
And you step on this kind of a, what's the little thing you walk on?
Trackpad or
yeah, something like that. Like a what the thing that you exercise on?
Treadmill.
Treadmill. Kind of like
omnidirectional treadmill.
Yeah. So everybody knew everybody through virtual reality. Like you earn things through virtual reality, and that's how everybody lived. Like that's where we all think VR. You know, that's like the direction that everybody thinks we're going. Mm-hmm. But I think that VR will sizzle out. I think AR is the big thing. Okay. Could you imagine now with the Google Glass? Let's go back to that. AR, of course, augmented reality means that you can see the world as it is and have something like a screen like from the Google Glass to add things into the environment, whether it's objects for games and stuff like that, entertainment, or information for work or for direction, anything, right? Could you imagine putting on Google Glass and going to your car and it augmented reality is telling you, okay, this is where the battery is, this is like just giving you information. Yeah. Like looking into the wall of your house with augmented reality. Like showing you where the studs are. Like just simple stuff that helps. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like something like, I think that's where, and like video games, and of course we were going to talk about that HoloLens. That's what they were trying to push. Like especially with that Minecraft demonstration.
That looks so amazing.
It does, but like everybody.
What happened to it? And why did it fall through?
I think the technology is expensive, and for something to take off, the general public has to get behind it and be able to afford it.
Yeah, I get it.
And how many, for you to have augmented reality, that means you have to have a lot of information being pumped through to, like, it's just infrastructure right now, I think the infrastructure is too early. Remember, it was a commercial, and if we find it, I'll play it in the background. But there was a commercial where a guy had on the HoloLens. I think it was HoloLens. I don't think it was Google Glass. I think it was HoloLens, but he walked in his kitchen, and when he looked, like, it was just stuff everywhere. Like, it showed him, like, information about stuff that's in the refrigerator, like ingredients for a cookbook or from a cookbook when he was cooking, but it was a whole bunch of stuff in the kitchen. Just like information. I can see that. I think VR will have its spot too, but I think AR is what I'm more intrigued about.
Yeah. I could see that. I think with video games, I think what would make AR or VR more adaptable or more user-friendly and make people want to get it is adapting it to sports.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA has done that this year. So you can sit courtside.
Yeah, and that's so dope. Imagine being able to be on like the flying camera at a football game.
Oh yeah.
And just be there or be on the sideline.
I think it's technology. I think they have the technology, but the profitability is what they're concerned about. Yeah. I think we had the technology 10 years ago. Bro, now I'm getting into my conspiracy theory stuff. Like the president, what's his name? Not Rogan.
Reagan.
President Reagan had a telephone on his plane where he can call people in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have that technology for a long time. We didn't have that technology on the plane for a long time. But he had it in the 70s because it was Air Force One.
I think it was a satellite phone.
It could have been. But I'm just saying, yeah, the technology is
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
But for it to be presented to the public, they have to make a profit. So if they can't make a profit, they're not going to bring it to the public.
Yeah. Hold on real quick. My bad. I forgot to charge this mug up.
So back to the HoloLens and PlayStation VR.
Yeah, back to it.
We both have PlayStations right now, PlayStation 4s.
Yep, and I love it.
And PlayStation has PlayStation VR. We both do not have PlayStation VR.
No.
What would make you jump to PlayStation VR?
A job. No, I want it. I wanted to.
It is expensive.
I wanted to get it. I still want to get a PS Vita. But
so would you, because there's 2 points. There's the games and there's the price point. Let's take the price point out.
Okay.
Would you just get it to get it, or is there, even with the current games?
I would get it for the ability to watch TV.
Can you do that on the PlayStation?
I believe with Netflix, yes.
So it's kind of like watching it on a movie screen.
Yeah.
I can see that. But, man. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I'm just waiting on the game.
Plus, well, the one game that I really would love, and I can't wait, and I will get this, is Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of scary games, but that one, I wouldn't mind being creeped out.
But that's a game that they said that they're going to do, right?
Yes.
I'm talking if you could do any game, not just games that they announce.
Any game,
I think it'd be so cool.
Any game I'd like to see. I would really love to see an FPS done in VR like that, like Destiny. I would really love to see a Destiny game just to be able to view the whole world that you're going to, like when you're going down into like the moon or whatever world that you're going to. I would love to see that.
Okay, This is for the OG Destiny players, but imagine playing The Dark Below with PlayStation. You know those big drops and big jumps?
Yes.
Here's the thing, like, bro, we've seen clips of people, and I might shoot some up here, of people in VR just flipping out over the simplest thing. I remember when we did it at Best Buy. Yeah. And you were freaking out over Gran Turismo.
Yeah, because that looked great. Now, Now, a lot of the graphics and the movements caused me to really get nauseous. And I think if the refresh rates and the technology was a little bit better, so it didn't give you that kind of feeling, I think it would have been a lot better. But I loved sitting in that RX-8 that I got to drive in. That was amazing.
Yeah, it would definitely be a curve for people to where, because I can see people messing some stuff up.
Oh yeah,
like could you imagine houses, even the Division?
Oh
like,
yeah,
us playing the Division and somebody flanks you and you turn around in your house and like your brain. That's the thing too. We don't even know. Like our brain, we're so immersed in it.
Yeah,
our brain can't decipher the difference yet.
It can't. It really can't.
Like people, we see videos of people like with VR. Like it shows them high up on a mountain and people are just like stepping so slow on just a normal ground.
Yeah.
Because they're so immersed in the game. I agree with you too that it has a lot to do with the graphics and refresh rate, but we're also getting into 8K territory. There are 8K screens out there now.
Yeah, that's true. And we're getting hardware that will have 8K technology.
Yeah.
I want that ability to be able to see it in a virtual reality.
Yeah.
Like with a PlayStation VR, if they come out with a PSVR 2 or something that has like 4K resolution in the eyes and it looks great and not like blocky.
Yeah, you got to see. I don't
like PlayStation VR. To me, it doesn't look good.
It's one game that I like. I mean, here's the thing. What was that game?
Super Hot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, but it's made specifically for VR.
Right.
So it's not an adaptation like okay, how would Grand Theft Auto look with the limited graphics?
Oh yeah.
That game is specifically made for VR. But No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that'd be another one. Something that has a giant immersive
and bro,
world.
As a person that
I can't
played
that.
No Man's Sky like for hours, like I love it. I love No Man's Sky. It relaxes me. But I don't know, like those dog fights in the spaceship would be kind of sick, and just dropping down into different caverns and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Like your stomach would be.
I know, like, that's the great part about it. I'm a roller coaster enthusiast. I love riding roller coasters, so that's kind of right up my alley. So I mean, it's crazy how much your brain makes something real. Like what Morpheus said, the body or the mind makes it real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I hope that the technology improves and the price also comes down.
Oh yeah.
But it should be interesting. And with the news of the PlayStation 5, we talked about that earlier, being a more powerful machine with SSD memory.
Yeah.
And of course, all these graphic cards coming out for PCs. If you want to build you a rig, I'm pretty sure that they can handle VR.
Oh yeah.
Way better than the console. But it would be interesting to see Grand Theft Auto 6 with a VR option.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty crazy.
I'd like to see all games have a VR option, where you could either play as a moving character, or just even see it on a giant
screen.
Yeah. That would entice me. That would entice me just to buy it right off the bat. If I have the option to do that, especially if I'm like, if let's say if I go to my mother-in-law's house, there's not the best opportunity to play through a TV. But if I take the PlayStation and then I take the headset, man, I'm golden. It's
and
like
you can play on the IMAX screen,
TV.
from your point of view.
Yeah. Oh, that's dope. That'd be dope.
Yeah, I hope they continue with it. PlayStation is really the only company that I see pushing it. Oculus, of course, but as far as from the console side, PlayStation VR, they have not given up on it.
Nope.
They're continuing to make content for it. So
I want to see what. I can't wait to see what the next iteration of it is.
Yep.
Gonna look like.
I'm excited.
You know what would be a really good thing to see through VR?
What?
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Let's talk about Game of Thrones, bro.
Game of Thrones
series
finale. Before we jump into it, how did you feel about the series finale?
I say out of a possible 10, I gave it a 7.
Oh,
I gave it a 7.
Interesting. I think I gave it a 1 out of 10.
You gave it a 1?
Or 4.
You gave it a 4?
A 4.
You gave it a 4?
4.
You gave it a 4?
Yep.
You gave it a yep?
This is interesting because...
This is interesting because?
So you gave Avengers Endgame an 8. And you gave the series...
8.5.
8.5. And the series finale of Game of Thrones a 7.
Yep.
So, in scoring, they're not that, like... So this was a good episode for you.
It was okay. It was okay.
Let's jump into it.
It was better to me. I thought it was better than average. And I put this out on social media, on Facebook. You know, people. All I've seen was people crying, moaning, complaining about how terrible it was. But people, let us not forget, we all lived through the tragedy that was the show Heroes. We all lived through the tragedy that was the show Lost.
Spoiler alert. Heroes ended horribly.
It was terrible.
With her jumping off a thing.
Yeah.
The cheerleader. Yeah.
And then they came back and then it was just worse.
Yeah.
And then Lost just to find out that they're dead the entire time.
But let me counteract to that. We also lived in a time where we had Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad to me is now above Game of Thrones.
The pinnacle of how to end a season. What else?
For right now, we'll put Breaking Bad on top of how to end a series, and then we'll see what Mr. Robot does.
Yeah,
Mr. Robot's coming into their last season, and you are going to watch these episodes, and we're going to talk about it because there is like some straight up theology kind of like podcast that we're going to have to do off of each one of these episodes.
We'll do it. I have to get into it, but let's get back to this Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So I wasn't all that upset. I guess I was talking to my brother about this.
Let's talk about specific, because I'm passionate about this. Because I watched all these episodes.
And did you get let down?
And I knew it. Here's the bad thing about it. We talked about this. I said this after the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
I said, bro, I feel like the finale is going to let us down so much.
Yeah, you did say that. You did say that.
And so I went into this with not a lot of expectations.
Yeah, same.
And
here.
I still was let down. and all right, let's start from the beginning. Okay. So the beginning of the episode,
we see Tyrion just walking. We're looking at the aftermath.
I thought that was a good scene.
I was like, given the past 2 episodes, I was like, oh, they're gonna kill Tyrion because they showed the person who was gonna die at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they about to show Tyrion and this dude about to die. I said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen at least.
He should have died.
He should have.
Somebody should have died.
But I'm glad that he didn't.
Yeah. I understand that, but it's like,
somebody
it's not the same show. Like, Game of Thrones was that show where the unexpected, like, where it wasn't a fairy tale ending.
Yeah. Which technically, it wasn't. I thought it. Okay. Since you brought that up, I have to bring this up. And I was talking to my brother about this, and we both felt the same way. He's a huge movie and TV buff. I felt what happened to Jon Snow was poetic.
Yeah.
I felt that was that was the right way to go with him.
It was, but here's the thing. This is why people are so upset. Everything was for nothing. They had an entire episode about how Bran went back and saw that Jon was the true king.
Yeah.
That was a waste of time.
But do you think anybody cared at the end? Do you really think anybody cared that he was the actual throne after he had killed Dany? Do you think anybody cared? I know the Unsullied didn't care, and I know that the Iron Throne didn't.
You know why they didn't care? Because of the way that this season was sped up. Let me tell you, they should have spent more time. It should have been, first of all, from the very beginning, and I think everybody could agree. Mm-hmm. This should have been 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of storylines that were rushed.
Yep.
We didn't get to see. Look, I was like, okay, this is about to happen. This is about to happen. Arya, she didn't get to use the many faces at all.
No, she didn't.
She didn't. So what was the point of all that?
Well, she got revenge on, what you call it?
Yeah.
On the phrase.
Yeah, the phrase, but okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just frustrating because it felt like a lot of stuff was assumed. Let me say it that way.
Yeah.
Varys was sending out those notes, right?
Yeah, what happened to that?
We don't know. I assume that he was telling everybody that Jon is the true king. But it never was brought up.
You know what I think happened is they must have gotten all his birds, all the little kids, after Tyrion snitched. I think I'm left to assume that they rounded up all the kids and did away with them or something.
Yeah.
Or had him killed, because that would be the only explanation as to why nobody brought it up in the council at the very end.
That's the thing too. Like, and sometimes I love art that allows you to think different ways, but I don't think it was executed in this. Like, that's an assumption, right?
That's a good question. I like going along with what you said. I think the way it ended gave more questions than rather made us think.
Yeah, and Arya in the beginning, like, what happened with the white horse? Where did she, like, she just, I mean, it just felt like stuff was cut out. So, I mean, it gave us one of the best visual things, though, when Dany came out with the
real story is going to be DLC.
I know. For real. And that brings me to another point that we're going to talk about a little later on, that I think that this is a money grab. I think there's a lot of factors that happen. I think there's a lot of factors that happen and why this was 6 episodes. So the writers are writing the next trilogy to Star Wars. I felt like they were trying to get done with this project as fast as possible to get started on the next trilogy.
So why is the entire writing team writing for another movie? Writing for the Star Wars? Why?
Well, the D&D.
Okay.
So I don't, not the entire.
So that,
but ultimately D&D is the one that makes the final decisions on what gets wrote in and stuff. So I felt like they rushed it. They're trying to get to the next project. It's so many different ways I felt like this could have went. Like, Dany she will ultimately become like the Mad Queen. But I felt like her dissension was rushed.
Do you feel madness. Do you feel like watching how her development played out? Do you feel like they were pushing her to end up becoming the Mad Queen from the get-go? Or you think it was just kind of something that happened as a result of the timetable that they were given? Okay, we got 2 more seasons left. Okay, we're gonna transition her into.
I think from the beginning, because, I mean, it's kind of poetic. Like, we know this in life: the things that you despise the most. Sometimes when you're so consumed about not becoming something, you become something.
You know what?
And so it kind of made her closer to her father, because you think about it. Think about this. And we're going in and out. Just keep following with us. But at the end, when Tyrion was looking at the book, right? A Song of Fire and Ice. Or Ice and Fire, whatever. Tyrion was not included in the book. But Tyrion really pulled the strings for everything.
He really did.
So you think about this. The history that we heard of the Mad King is not necessarily all the context. So she thought that she was avoiding what her father was doing by freeing everybody. But her father could have had the same agenda and understood that, like Age of Ultron in Marvel.
Yeah.
He was created to protect mankind. But when he saw everything that was happening in the world, he came to realization that the only way to protect mankind is to kill them, because they're going to destroy themselves.
Yeah.
So just going into that point of madness, she saw that, okay, Cersei and her people will never bow down to me. They don't love me. Destroy them all. But somebody writing that is going to say that the Mad Queen came in on her dragon and blew everything up, killing men, women, and children. They're not going to give the context.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think that she was always written as the Mad Queen throughout, like, they were going to that.
And she kind of just accepted it.
I just think that the depth of it could have been, like, it just would have been more impactful, right?
Yeah.
Like, to where, because what makes a good villain is that you can almost side with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you can I see what you're saying.
And we were on her side. I like where you're going, because if they would have made her sympathetic as she started turning, I think it would have been like, oh man, when Jon killed her, we would have felt torn. But now it's like, yeah, she's got to die because she turned this way, blah blah blah,
like,
all this other stuff.
Yeah. And like the way that her dragon died, like the second one, I think the first one,
yeah,
it was just like, you don't see them over there, like, but you can dodge all of them, but you didn't see those ships on the other side of the rock. I felt like they rushed her. Like, if you would have put some time into it, like, her helping somebody was and the consequence of her helping somebody was her dragon dying. We saw that in season 7 when the Night King.
Yeah.
So we saw that, man, she was trying to do the right thing and lost the dragon. Then she was on the joyride and lost the dragon. Like, so
she was on the vindictive joyride.
Yeah.
Vindictive. There you go.
And I think that's what I'm saying. Like, it just felt so rushed, and I think that people waited too long for that to happen. Yeah, I think it was always written that she would become the Mad Queen. And I did love that shot, though, of her walking to talk to her army and the dragon behind her. And it looked like dragon wings coming out of her back.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty dope shot.
That was super cool. Kind of looked like the Angel of Death. Like,
yeah,
she had on all that black.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
She looked menacing.
You know what? I thought, and I kept thinking as she burned everything alive, and then in the last episode, and then in this episode, as you see her character turn, kept thinking of the words of Harvey Dent. You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I mean, it's so true. And it's like, I believe that's the same characteristic of, like, Thanos too.
Yeah.
Because he was good at one point in time when he was very young.
It's definitely a trope, like, the writers use, like, to like, like I said, some of the greatest villains are villains that you can sympathize with.
Yeah, which is why I can't wait for the new Joker movie to come out. Oh, that's gonna be so dope. Okay, but anyways, I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you.
And I mean, so where we at? Like, so she talked to her army, and after, here's the thing that got me too. She starts running down how she freed everybody. Then she said that she freed the people of King's Landing. There's nobody left.
There's nobody. Well, she freed them of foolishness.
She killed them.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't free nobody.
No, you certainly didn't. You killed them.
You destroyed the city and you killed them. And these Dothraki, what they just keep multiplying. Like,
yeah, where'd they come from?
Like,
God. Yeah, nobody said anything about that,
bro. I feel like that's why I'm like they just checked out.
They did.
Like, they had the water bottle behind Sam.
Hold on. Speaking of checking out, I think the biggest slap in the face to us as viewers was giving Bran the throne.
Oh no, we gonna talk about it. We gonna get to it, but we gotta go down the line, because if that was it, okay, but that's not it. That's not it.
That's not it,
bro. So Tyrion is probably one of the best characters.
He is the best character of the show.
In the show. So he goes down to he goes down to below the Red Keep, where his brother and sister should have escaped. He sees that it was shut off. Here's the thing. I thought that whole place had collapsed. It seemed like the bricks just fell in one spot.
Yeah.
Like, y'all couldn't dodge that?
I heard somebody say, like,
like, Tyrion
if they would have been like 2 feet to the left,
yeah, like,
it would have been okay.
That's what I'm saying. I just feel like they just checked out. Like, that's not what we expect from Game of Thrones.
And he was able to get through that.
He just walked
so easily.
He just walked through, like they just piled a whole bunch of stones right there, and of course we see Jaime's hand.
But you know
and
what?
It was emotional for
bump that
for Tyrion.
Bump all of that. She got off.
No, she did.
Free.
Now I'm talking about between Tyrion and Jaime. I can understand the emotion right there.
She should have been eaten up by them dogs.
And I've heard this. From people that said that the reason why they're okay with Cersei dying like that is that if she would have died any other way, she would have been in the history books. She would have been, like, they would have talked about her. Like, her dying in such an insignificant way, like, nobody would ever remember her name or the Lannister name. And I kind of went with it a little bit, but then I said that no, she did so much crazy stuff to people.
She freaking blew up the Sept.
The dragon should have bit her in half or something.
She killed dozens of innocent people who were there to see a trial.
Not just that. Yeah.
Dozens, maybe even hundreds of people.
Thousands of people, because she blew up that whole radius.
Yeah, she did. You're right. She probably couple thousands of people who were innocent.
Yeah.
I feel like Pinky.
Oh. Yeah,
she got off scot free. I was not happy with that.
I wasn't
one
either.
bit.
I wasn't either. And then to see, okay, she got a little blood on her face. At least show me her skull split open.
Yes.
Like,
she got all nice and comfortable and
right,
stuff.
It looked like she just went to sleep. Yeah. And I can understand Tyrion and, crying over his brother. But it just felt like they just gave up on it. You know, it's just like, okay, kill him. And
you know what? Here's a question I have.
Or maybe the skull, like in the Red Keep, like falling on her in the tooth of the skull, like going through her body, like something.
Yeah.
Like where it's symbolic, you know, like the dragon bones that they, you know, bragged about killing. Like let that be the one that split her in half or something. Like, Cersei got off way too easy. And remember, we thought that she was gonna be alive still. So when he went down there, I was like, "Oh my God, she's gonna be alive, and she's gonna die.
She's gonna die like she should die.
Like she should die."
And I was upset after that happened. Then I was like, "You know what? I'm out. I'm out of it." And I was very numb to most of the episode because
this was an hour and a half episode.
I was numb to the episode before because the way that the third to the last episode ended, the Battle of Winterfell ended. That to me should have been the whole crux of everything. It's like, okay, I thought it was going to be a 3-episode type of fight where they end up retreating all the way back to and then they have to fight both of them at the same time.
And
I was
Cersei,
expecting,
and Cersei could see the Night King, and I would have liked that the Night King killed Cersei. Like
that would have been dope
because of her unbelief.
and then have her become like.
So she,
There's so many ways it could have gone that I don't understand why they didn't go. That it just like after that battle, everything became numb. Yeah, you know, Viserys' death, it didn't matter. Dany's death didn't matter.
We gonna get to that.
When I saw when I saw Dany's death, I was just like,
hold on, we gonna get to it. We gotta dissect this thing because you said a 7, and that's why I say I'm gonna go down this list, and I'm gonna ask you at the end of this podcast, what grade did you give it? Because you know how I am when I look at stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm a story writer, man. I want to see... Like, that's what drew me into Game of Thrones.
Substance.
Like, it's not a lot of different shows that I like to watch because I feel like they're so predictable.
We going to get 1,000 subs off of watching Mr. Robot.
Like...
Let him know, son.
So, after Cersei, we see Tyrion cry over his brother. Definitely didn't cry over Cersei. Of course, she looked like she was super comfortable. So now we go to where she's talking to the army, and she says that she starts from the beginning, and how she told them that we would defeat the men in the iron suits and tear down their stone walls. Okay, they did that.
Ripped them up root and stem.
She talks about how she freed the people in Meereen and all this, and then she goes to say that she freed the people of King's Landing from a tyrant. Even the tyrant that was in charge never considered she did blow up a building, but she never would torch everybody.
And you know why? Is because her father told her that people are resources. They're the biggest resources that you have. If you can't manage people, then you have no business.
And Tyrion knew this.
Any type of throne.
And told her, you don't want to be queen of the ashes. Like there's nothing there. So now we see the ash just falling everywhere. Which leads me to believe that all these people will have cancer in the next.
We wasn't no atomic bomb that went off, but I guess the fire
ash getting into your lungs, like you breathing ash. But
I actually thought all that was snow.
Yeah, but it never. They confirmed. I mean, winter is over, and it never snows in King's Landing. Yeah. So, the Night King is dead. Winter is over. It never snows in King's Landing. So this is how we know that it's just ash falling down. Yeah. So, she's talking to the army. She talks about how she frees the people of King's Landing, Tyrion walks out, and Jon is hearing this, and she proceeds to say that the war is not over, that there's more people to be freed, and she crucified a lot of the oppressors. Okay, that's cool. We can see,
yeah,
like, okay, but some of those people didn't deserve to be crucified. Like,
yeah,
they were just a part of the noble families.
Yeah.
So if you were a part of the family, and we can kind of say, okay, that's a generation that need to be destroyed because they were slave owners.
Yeah.
But when she said that she freed the people of King's Landing, I think Jon was like, hold on, you didn't free them, you killed them. And now you're talking about going to other places to free them. How you gonna free them? You gonna burn them down too? Like,
yeah, Jon was pissed. Jon was pissed. He didn't want to have to do what he knew he had to do.
Yeah.
And so he gave her every single out.
And
he came with that static, real talk. He was like,
well, it brings us back to Tyrion too, because he wasn't gonna do nothing. He just was like, she saw her friend's head get cut off. So Tyrion comes out. He's hearing this speech, and he's done at this point. Yeah, like he just saw his brother down there in the Red Keep. He saw all the men, women, and children like torched. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I don't care. Like, she already knew that he had released his brother. So, and you know what though?
What?
I was surprised that she didn't kill him right there on the spot.
I was too.
I thought that was it. When he he looked like a little child, like when he threw that thing.
Hey, why? Because his little arm?
I don't know. I don't know. It just seemed like a tantrum. But
you're not my dad.
And so I thought, okay, Grey Worm is about to cut his head off, but she didn't. She just took him to the spot, and then Arya pops up behind Jon.
Yeah, that was kind of funny.
I thought, and she just made a little scenes that, like, she knows a killer when she sees one.
Yeah.
But that brings us to, speaking of Grey Worm, it was a conflict between him and Jon. Grey Worm was about to execute the surrendered soldiers of King's Landing, and Jon was like, hey, they're already defeated. And then they gave each other this little look. Why? I'm sorry, I got super hot because the episode before of the Bells, they give each other this look. Like, yeah, you're not with us. Then they do it again, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
Him and Jon should have fought to the death.
They should have.
And so, okay, we're moving along. Like I said, I'm going to ask you again at the end of this discussion.
Still 7. We
go to the point where Tyrion is in... I mean, he's locked up, I guess. He's guarded. Mm-hmm. Jon has to give up his sword to go talk to him, and pretty much Tyrion says that, hey, you know what you need to do.
Yep.
She done lost it. Tyrion talked about how he saw his best friend, Varys, get burned alive, knowing that he was correct in what he was doing.
Yeah.
It's about he's like, I'm about to die as well, but Jon, you know what you need to do.
Question.
Yes.
If Dany still would have burned down the city, but his brother and sister would have gotten out, do you think he would have given up his handship of the queen?
If she would have heard the bells.
And she still would, if she still would have did everything that she did, but Jaime and Cersei got away, do you think he would have given up his handship?
Nope. I think the only reason he did that is for Jaime. He loved him, and it was kind of like a debt that he could pay back. And he wanted them to go away and just live obscurely off the grid.
Yeah.
So I think he would have still been the hand because he would have saw the mercy that she showed to the city.
Yeah.
And she still needed an advisor for King's Landing because who knows King's Landing people more than...
No, but I mean, if she would have burned down the city. But Jaime and Cersei got away.
Oh, yeah. He would have... He would have still...
You think he would have...
He was done.
He would have given it up?
He was done when he was walking through the city in the beginning.
Interesting.
Why would he stay? After she said that she was... She never physically said it. She kind of gave a look.
She did. You're right. And I paid attention to that. She did not say that she was going to...
But whether you say it or not, this is not like a small thing. You torched innocent people.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he still would have... Because where else do you go?
But, see, this is my thing. Were they really innocent?
King's Landing people?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
They didn't revolt even though she had murdered people.
The King's Landing people, and I heard this before too. Like, oh, they deserved because they were the same people that were cheering when Ned got his head cut off. True. That's true. Here's the thing. They don't have the context that we have.
No.
In their mind, Ned was a traitor. And traitors get beheaded.
But here's my... Okay, at that same token, here's my counter to that. When Cersei had to make that walk of shame.
Yes.
Shame. You get it now.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you get it now. When she had to make that walk of shame, they were spitting in her face.
Because of... Here's the thing. Any society, and this is a lesson for anybody. Any society that you grow up in, that you live in, they're persuaded by the people at the top. Whether we like it or not. We as viewers have a unique perspective. Right? We're living outside of the society that's being built at King's Landing.
Right.
So everything that we see the inside of the politics, the outside. They don't see that. All they know is that there's a queen. She sinned. That was her punishment. She was atoned for her sins. That's it.
That's true.
So, I don't buy like people saying that the people of King's Landing deserve that, because that's like saying that, and I'm just using this as an example. That's like somebody from a foreign country coming to America, destroying America, and saying that the people deserved it because you have rapists, you have
that's a good
drug
point.
peddlers here.
That's a good point.
Not every society has their bad apples, but not everybody deserves to die. So, like, I think these are people getting emotional because they are on Team Dany.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll agree with that.
I agree. So
wholeheartedly, I agree. Exclusive.
So
I agree.
That's why I think that Tyrion would have gave it up no matter what.
Okay.
And so now, here we go. Jon talks to Tyrion, proceeds to go talk to Dany. He hasn't talked to her directly since this all happened. He gets to the doorway and we see the dragon there. The dragon sees that it's Jon, sniffs him, and like, okay, you can pass. Why aren't there any Unsullied there?
She wanted a moment. I mean, she had the dragon out there. Why not?
Yeah.
What do you need Unsullied there if you got a dragon? Nobody's gonna.
Grey Worm knew that Jon was up to something. Just the looks that they gave each other. So I don't understand. Like, I understand. Like, the dragon is right there, but they understand that Jon is the biggest threat to her now, and that's what Tyrion said. That you're the biggest threat. What you think she gonna do to you? So I'll let that pass. I did love the scene with the dragon coming up out of the ash.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
And so he goes in there, he sees Dany, and we see the prophecy that we saw in season 6.
The dream that she had.
The dream that she saw. Was it season 6?
I think so. Where she said she... Yeah, good.
Yeah. So we see her there, and we know what's about to happen. He comes in there, he talks to her, and she says she says one of the most, I think the line that pushed John over the edge. She starts talking about friending people and this.
John comes with that static.
So who is good and who's to say? And she says they don't get a chance to decide.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most tyrannic thing you can say at that moment. Like, people don't get to choose.
Yeah.
So John stabs her in the heart with Ninja Turtle Raphael weapon.
It was like in the gut.
Yeah, like in the heart, in the gut, somewhere around there, and you hear it. And at one moment, I thought that she stabbed him. Like, in a split second, I was like, "Who stabbed who?" Maybe me hoping that something
different
would happen. You know,
I didn't think for a second that
I'm talking about John for a millisecond. I thought that, like, just something. Give me something that I didn't expect.
Yeah.
So she dies. She lays down. A little blood out the nose. A little blood out the mouth. Like, just a little stream. This is the same show that had the Red Wedding. Let me remind you. This is the same show that we saw somebody's skull explode.
Same show where you see a lady getting stabbed in her pregnant belly.
Yes. Like,
the only thing they didn't
times.
show was the baby getting stabbed.
Yeah. But just a little, just a little stream of blood. And Drogon, he has that connection with Danny. So he comes up there. He looks at, and here's the thing. He looks at John.
Hold up, I smell new shoe.
He looks at Danny, tries to, and that was a cool moment where he's trying to wake her up. Then he blows the fire, and I'm thinking, okay, this is where John gets hit with the fire, and he comes out unburned.
Yeah.
And then Unsullied runs in there and sees him as the true king, and he rides the dragon, and okay, let's go. No, that's not how it happens. He burns the throne down, scoops up Danny, and leaves.
You know, when
it was two people. I saw this. I thought this was so funny. I just have to say before I forget. Somebody said that either the dragon was extremely smart or extremely stupid. He was extremely smart because he said that the Iron Throne was the symbol that killed his mother. That she wanted it so bad that it consumed her and it ultimately killed her. Mm-hmm. Then somebody said he could be the stupidest because he saw that he was stabbed. She was stabbed and saw that the throne was made of swords and thought that she got poked by the throne. It burned it down. Bro, let me tell you, this is why this is why I said a 4. Even in that, bro, I was like, no. Okay, he's gonna burn the throne, and the molten lava from the throne will encase Danny, like some symbolic, like consumption of the throne.
Yeah.
No, not even that. And then it goes black. 3 weeks later.
You know what I believe happened? I don't think you're gonna like it, but this is what I wholeheartedly believe happened, and I don't think I've heard anybody talk about it. I think in that instance where that Drogo sees Jon after he can't wake her up, and he's about to like spit the fire on him, and he goes to the other side and spits it on the throne. I think at that point he's being taken over by Bran. And Bran is now controlling him to burn up the throne. I wholeheartedly believe that's what happened, and that's why That's why Jon did not die. Because for any other reason, Jon would have been dead. Jon would have been dead.
But no, I mean he wouldn't have been.
Drogo would have killed him.
But he was a true king.
Drogo knows.
He was a true king Targaryen.
But he killed his moms.
But he can't be consumed by fire.
Not necessarily. We don't know that. He's the only half-breed.
Yeah.
And that we don't know. We do not know. Unless George R. Martin, which I need that dude to get healthy so he can finish writing these books.
Oh, it was a rumor that those was already finished. That he just... It was rumors that they were already finished, that he just said that to help the TV show.
He ain't done yet.
Yeah, well... Now, that's an interesting... Let's get back to that. That's an interesting view. That Bran took over the dragon. And this is a problem with Bran. So, Bran knows the future and the past.
Yep.
He's able to control creatures. Is he... And people. He's just... It's just... He is as... let me... How do I put this?
He's a tool.
He is a... He's a tool, but he's an extremely large safety net for writers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's a big excuse. That's it.
I agree with that.
He's 100%. A wheelchair excuse. Okay. All right. I've never heard that one. You're right. I've never heard anybody say that before, but
that's what I believe happened.
Let's just say, okay, Bran took over the dragon. Okay, he scoops her up, and it goes black, right?
Hmm.
I don't know if they gave a time period, but
no, they didn't.
We know that it was some time.
It was a couple weeks. We know it was a few weeks,
and we see them in the arena. All the people, Grey Worm bringing out Tyrion, and they're there to decide on the fate of Jon. Tyrion is like, y'all need to pick a king or a queen.
Yeah.
To decide. So, I just felt like after everything was just drawn out so long.
It was.
And so they're there, and Sansa's uncle stands up. He thinks she tells him to sit down. Sit your $5 down before I make change, basically. So that was funny. Sam brings up that maybe we should let the people decide, and they laugh, at democracy. Okay, that's a cool little joke, but I'm pissed at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not laughing at nothing. So they go through this whole big thing, and this is the most kick in the face. This is a big kick in the face. And you still saying 7 to this point.
Yeah.
Tyrion says that we need a king that has a story. And who better has a story than Bran? And I say, no. Jon has the better story. Jon died. Came back. Jon fought White Walkers. Jon went beyond the gate. Jon saved the Night Watch. Jon was a bastard. Jon was a warrior. Jon has the better story.
Mm-hmm.
So that logic of Tyrion saying that a boy that fell down and like this, okay, he became the 3-eyed raven. Okay, Jon came back to life. Jon was a warrior. Wasn't supposed to be anything.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why it's still a 7, and why that logic is superseded. So, the reason that logic is superseded it hinges on the fact that the Unsullied were only there for Dany. The fact that Jon killed him, which to them, hey, it's really not that huge of a deal. But the fact is, they were loyal to Dany, and Jon killed her, and the only penance for that is blood. The only penance. Now
we saw Joffrey.
They went soft. King. Exactly, and that's the point. That's the whole point of this Game of Thrones. Is not everything is so cut and dry, and we saw that with Ned Stark. We saw that with his son. What was his name? Who died at the Red Wedding?
Robb.
Yeah, we saw that with Robb Stark. We saw it with Jon Snow. He did the right thing and got killed for it. Just because it's the right thing to do doesn't mean that it's going to work out. This was the only way that they could safely not have a war, that they not have another war right then and there, which they were not equipped to win.
Let Sansa be the queen. I would have been more happier than it.
She wasn't gonna head to King's Landing. She hated King's Landing.
Yeah, of course. Anybody, let me tell you what Bran said.
As much as
Bran doesn't. He throughout the whole I don't want to be queen. King. I don't want to be king. And then, why you think I'm here? I said, you fucking. What?
Here's my thing, right? Here's why I don't have that big of a problem with it. If you're rocking with Tyrion and you've been rocking with him from the get-go and how smart he is, then to go against him now would be the wrong thing to do. Because don't you think that he knows that Jon Snow has the better story?
I think... But I'm looking at this from two different points.
Jon Snow can't be in play for the throne. He just can't, because there's going to be revolt after revolt after revolt, and then people are going to die. More people are going to die. That's just
Game of Thrones.
You're reacting with your feelings.
No, this is what I'm saying. Look at it from this point. Okay, I understand. Okay, Bran is the best choice. I agree.
Yeah.
Right? I think that they copped out. That's the only thing.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because now you got a guy, of course he would be a great king. He can see the past and the future. Of course he would be a great king. He's the last true male Stark. Of course. We know that. It just seems so obvious.
It is.
That's the thing. That's what gets me. Like, not just this decision, it's just things stacked on top of each other. The whole way Dany died, the whole way a lot of things that we saw in previous seasons meant nothing. Arya with the many faces. Okay, we sat through 4 or 5 episodes
that did not mean that didn't. You can't say that meant nothing, because if that's the case, then there's no way she would have been able to defeat the Night King. Absolutely, you can't. Yeah. You can't throw Arya into that argument.
But she didn't have a different face on.
It doesn't. Like that, it doesn't matter. But she learned how to fight.
Yeah, she did. But it's a lot of people that can fight without using. And
she learned how to sneak around. She learned how to survive, and she learned. I mean, all the skills that she learned when she was training with the many-faced god, Jaqen H'ghar. Those are skills like the sword drop. Those are all things that she learned when she was there.
Jon didn't know how to do that.
I mean, Jon wouldn't thought to do that, but
I feel like that's a common move. I done seen that in plenty of movies where they dropped it to another hand.
But there was a point of it being shown with
Arya. I agree. I'm just saying, like, this is what I'm saying. And I think this is the point that I'm making, and I think this is why I gave it a 4. Let me back up. When you have a series finale, of course you're gonna have so many opinions on how it should end. That's undeniable. It's gonna be people that wish it happened this way, wish it happened this way. I accept that, because there's only one way you're gonna get. but there's millions of opinions of how it should have ended. Yeah. That's any show. I just felt like this show, it felt like they checked out. And it frustrates me because after Danny died, you really could have turned it off. After they announced Bran, it was fanfare and just a whole bunch of... All right, we're to this point, to my main point, that makes me so frustrated, that made me give it a 4. I felt like for HBO, for the writers, that this was a chance to make more money. Instead of giving it a great a great legacy, they kept everything so open so they can do other shows. So they are more concerned about keeping things open to make money instead of giving us the great finale. Like Breaking Bad. With that finale, it was a little open too. We never seen him die. Spoiler alert. But it was so satisfying, those last 3 episodes.
Yeah.
You felt the mood just change. This, it felt like, okay, now we can do a show with Arya. Now we can do a show with Jon. Now we can do a show with Grey Worm. Like, everything seemed like, get ready for the next spinoff. You know, like, it wasn't that Game of Thrones dramatic, like, wow, I've never seen that coming, and we're going to talk about this for years. And people can say, remember the Red Wedding. Like, just, we'll never, like, it's not a 1 or 2 word thing that we're not going to be like, man, Bran.
I mean, we're going to remember it for forever, but just not for the right reasons. I mean, everything you're saying, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
I love this show. Like, I really love this show. So, with me giving it a 4, it's not me being a contrarian and trying to say, oh, this show was... Like, I love this show.
Yeah.
All the way up till... And I rocked with it all season 8. You know, we were talking about... Like, I love the Battle of Winterfell. I felt like it was rushed, but okay, it satisfied me.
Yeah.
The Bells, I can see why she went mad. I could see them stretching it out to see her descend into darkness a little more, but I understand. Yeah. But this was like,
and that's
come on.
For me, the fact that I can understand, I can follow it. I may not agree with how it's working out, but I can follow it, and it makes some sort of sense. That's why I can give it a 7.
Yeah, it makes sense
within the scope of the story.
Yeah, it does wrap a bow around it. It does. But it was just so unsatisfying.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that, like, here's the thing, too. They might want to wait off on these spinoffs.
Yeah.
Well, because people are pissed. Now, you can agree that more people are pissed than satisfied.
Oh, yeah.
I think your score of 7 out of 10 is an anomaly. And I understand what you're saying. From your point of view, is like, hey, and let me know if I'm wrong. But I feel like you're saying, hey, I understand the decisions that were made, and it closed it out. And I think I'm there with you too. Like, I understand, like, it's not crazy that Bran is king. It's not crazy that Jon killed Dany. I think we saw that from a mile away, though.
Yeah.
Like, they were building that up. But, bro, how, like, if we know that and we're not writing, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they just checked out.
Yeah.
Like, so many different ways. Like, even that thing with, like, the dragon burning Jon and people seeing, like, he don't even have to be king.
You know what?
Like, he could have just rode off with Drogon. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't even have to be king. Like, just his whole story arc of being a Targaryen was for nothing.
Yeah.
Why did it matter that we knew he was Targaryen? After the show is over, why does it matter? It doesn't. Nothing matters about that. And I give you that the No Face with Arya, yeah, she developed those skills. She became a great warrior. Now they can do a show where maybe I saw this on the internet. Arya the Explorer goes west and liberates people.
Yeah,
she has those skills now. She's a grown up. But yeah, I just could you imagine like Arya like being on the throne?
No.
I'm saying this, like you not knowing it's her, and she reveals that it's her, and nobody knows it. Like the No Face thing. Like I think I'm just pulling for something because I'm like, I think it's a letdown.
The writer in you is feeling let down. Me, I'm more of a skeptic. Plus, it wasn't that big of a deal because I have other shows that I'm looking forward to. Seeing the finale more,
but you had a chance to write history. That's what I'm saying. Like
true, and again, I get that. I get it. You know, going back to what you were saying about how I kind of approached it, I've been kind of I came to grips with this whole season again. Like I said, after the Battle of Winterfell, after that happened, I remember sitting there and I was like, this is what's happening? Okay, if this is how this, which is the biggest battle of the entire series, ends, it ends in one episode, then there's nothing here. There's nothing of substance that they're going to give me anything of substance. So I was already checked. I was already emotionally checked out 3 episodes ago.
I think I was I was just hanging on. So maybe that's why you were able to accept it.
Yeah.
But like because even through the episode, like even when I told you like at a split moment I thought that I even thought in that moment when Dany died that Arya was there. You know, like like Arya stabbed her in the back and Jon would have freaked out. You know, like just something different. But like I can see if I went into it like knowing that okay, this may not be what I wanted, but this is a close.
Yeah. Again, I had no expectations that anything was gonna go well.
Yeah.
I was more so on the ride of okay, how are they going to tie everything up into a close? With this happening, with such and such nine, this happening. Okay, they're moving Dany to look like she's a tyrant now. Okay, this is completely out of everybody's character. It doesn't make sense, but I want to see how they're going to tie everything up.
And did they really tie everything up?
In a sense, they checked boxes, yes, but did it?
They left it wide open.
Did it correlate with the series? Absolutely not.
Like
absolutely.
So
not.
we don't even really know if Dany is dead.
Yes, we do.
Do we?
Yeah. Because there's nothing that. I mean,
Jon came back to life.
She's not Jon Snow. We don't have the Lord of Light. The Lord of goddamn Light, bro.
Yeah, that whole prophecy was thrown out the window.
What in the world happened? Okay,
that whole prophecy was thrown out the window.
We only saw a shadow. We didn't hear anything. We didn't even get to see this Lord of Light.
That whole prophecy
that aggravated me more.
That's what I'm saying. Like
the ending.
It's not just this specific episode. It's just like so with the series finale, everything accumulates and like to this grand thing, right? I just felt like I invested in different storylines in my mind that I can see different things happening that meant nothing. Jon us finding about him being a Targaryen meant nothing. I feel cheated even with the 3-eyed Raven thing because I felt like it all just went to him being the greatest king.
Oh yeah.
Like, okay, that's cool.
But that goes against the character of the 3-eyed Raven, who is not supposed to have any sort of lordship over anything.
Yeah, and he said it And he was sticking to it, right? He was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. And then that smug line, why do you think I'm here?
Why do you think I came all this way?
I felt like that was like the writers just pimp slapped me with some baby powder in their hand. Right in the face.
What was that movie? How High?
Yeah. I felt like they just...
allegiance to the pimps, United Pimps of America. Wow.
I felt like they just, like, how can we just make everybody pissed? Like, I couldn't imagine being at a watch party.
Oh, no.
I would have had to get up out of there because I know some people were pissed. So, okay. After the Bran becomes king, we get... Here's another thing. Jon is sentenced to go back to the Night Watch. And this has been a meme. If you're a Game of Thrones fan or not, you've seen this meme. Why is there a Night Watch? Okay, I understand maybe the Night Watch is symbolic of a prison, right? Where you just go there and serve. You can't have a family. That's what the Unsullied wanted, right? The Unsullied say they're going to the Isles of, I forgot the name of it. But they're going to where Missandei said that she wanted to go, right?
Yep.
They're leaving. Jon could just stay, just stay there.
That's why he went, that's why Tormund was there, and he went with him. He's not staying there. He's not staying there.
Yeah, he's not saying that. I'm just saying, like, he really didn't have, so.
Winter's over.
He gets to.
He still gets his freedom. He just can't see his family.
He's now the king of the free people. So that's that poetic side. Like he's really the king of the true North.
Yeah.
The northern
the people that are free.
Yeah, the free. Sansa becomes queen of the North. So after they say Bran, Sansa threw some shade, said, "You can't even have children. Your hammer don't work no more."
She don't know.
Yeah, his hammer. He probably, he probably get down.
I mean, he can go into other animals. Can he? I can see.
So then they said this too.
I'll be right back.
The Unsullied can have their own kingdom. This is gonna last for one generation.
Right.
They can't reproduce.
They can't. I didn't even think about that.
Like, it's just gonna be a whole bunch of old Unsullied warriors.
Old dudes.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, all this stuff don't make sense. Like,
scissoring each other.
Yeah, they're scissoring each other. They can't produce nothing. Like, okay, then Sansa becomes queen of the North. I thought that she always wanted to do that. And there's been some theories that Sansa, she was the true manipulator. Like, Tyrion pulled strings, but Sansa pulled Tyrion. Because she learned from Littlefinger and Cersei. So she knew how to manipulate people from the people that manipulated her.
I always felt like she didn't deserve any throne at all.
Sansa?
Yeah. She didn't deserve it. Because she's been so... I feel like she was corrupted by Littlefinger and... I think it's a case of seeing the world for what it truly was. Because she was always excited about being married to Joffrey, right? Because of the stories of being a queen and, like just a fairy tale. Then she got hit with the real world when everybody was running up in her. And now she like, okay. Oh, yeah.
So I think she became smarter. I think she was it's some people that's on Team Sansa out there.
Oh, yeah.
She really grew up. And I was glad to see her be queen of the North. The North was, from the beginning, season 1, the North was always considered its own, right? Even they used to joke saying that, the people from the North, they don't follow what we do. Like,
the North remembers. Yeah,
so I understand that. Arya, of course, goes west. And she said that in season 5 or season 6, but she said that...
What's west of Westeros?
Yeah. to the actor that she was supposed to kill. But yeah, and then John, the last scene of the entire series was him. Well, a couple of scenes. He finally he reunited with Ghost. And he got the pet Ghost.
That pissed me off.
They just put that in there.
More than anything of this entire episode. The fact that so many people are concerned with him and being reunited with Ghost. Like, are really people that concerned about a goddamn dog?
I was happy.
It's
symbolic.
Dog. It's a darn dog.
Bro, season 1. They all the Starks had dire wolves, right?
Yes. Every last one of them.
Every time and symbolically, when their dire wolf was killed, a major shift for that character happened.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
With John,
that's cool. But my thing is,
let me fit with John. With Ghost was beat up. He wasn't dead. John never changed. He was always loyal throughout this whole series. So with Ghost being alive, he's beat up. He got scars, just like John got scars. But he never changed. Every time people got out of character with their like when they had a major shift with their character, their dire wolf died.
Yeah, I got that. My issue's not with that. It's with the people. It's with the fans.
This is why they were mad.
The fan. No. Like the animal lovers.
Oh, okay.
Like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like
I can
the
see
animal lovers. It's like that's what y'all are concerned of.
But
that's what y'all are concerned with, whether or not Ghost is back or not, and then y'all like cheering. So like.
But remember when he gave Ghost, Ghost had to stay, right? When he said Ghost,
yes.
He didn't even pet Ghost.
So?
But they asked him why didn't he pet Ghost?
Who asked him?
People. Did you hear what the writers said? What the producers said?
No.
They said that they didn't have the budget for the CGI.
So?
That was a lame excuse, bro.
So?
Ghost is a big part of the story, bro.
So?
You just don't like dogs. You just don't like dogs.
I just.
It's symbolic, bro. I'm not saying that.
I don't see it as a problem. I really don't.
For
I
me,
really don't.
it was.
It's not to me. It's not that big a part of a story. It's not. It's not. It may be symbolism, but I don't really care about it. So I don't really make that big of a difference. Whether or not he pets him, okay, yeah, you're saying goodbye to the dog. Okay, that's great.
If you had that dire wolf protected him, like through a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
If you're leaving your dog and you're gonna leave them there, knowing that he might die, you might die, you're just like, oh, just stay here. In the beginning, they made such a big point about the wolves, the dire wolves. Even the dire wolf that he had was a runt. He was the smallest dire wolf. So it's like to keep the consistency. Like, I don't care either. But I'm just saying they dropped the ball and they forced it into this episode to make the fans happy. It's like this, like me writing a story and like not bringing everything together. Like it's not all like it's just not put together well. Like that's a big point.
I got you.
Like Ghost was big. Even his name, Ghost. Like John was resurrected. Like, Ghost went through all the battles, survived. He was the runt. John was the bastard. Like, he was the only wolf that was all white with the red eyes. Like, it went hand in hand. And people were upset that the writers or the producers or whatever made a big excuse saying that the reason why they didn't, because who cares if he leaves Ghost or not? That can be a part of symbolism. But to say that the reason why they didn't have that scene is because they didn't have the budget for the CGI when they had 3 dragons.
Maybe they didn't have the budget for it.
Bro, you accept that excuse?
Yes.
Bro, you know how much
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they
This is one of the biggest
But if
TV
they say they didn't have the budget for it,
they lying.
They probably didn't have the budget.
This what they couldn't say, that we dropped the ball. That he should have did that.
Okay. We'll accept it for what it is. I accept Game of Thrones for what it is.
Here's the thing.
It was a good show.
It's not just that. It was a good show. It was a good show.
Did it end great?
No.
Not at all.
And that's what's make.
But is it enough to make you sorry for watching the show at all?
No, it's not. But it could have been great.
Let's stop acting like it is.
It could have been great.
It could have been. Anything could have been. Lost could have been great.
Yeah.
Heroes should have been great. But we get let down once people
Would you ever watch this series again?
Probably.
I can't. Because knowing what I know, like Breaking Bad, I done watched it 3 times at least. Because I knew that the story was together.
So you'll only rewatch something if it ends cohesively?
It's going to make me crazy if I know that this part doesn't matter.
I can watch a show or series or a movie over and over again because I know that I'll see something that I didn't see before, and I may understand a little bit more that I didn't understand
Good
before.
You brought that point up. With Game of Thrones, people are so invested. There has been so many podcasts, so many videos about theories, about plots, about different things that we saw, and they meant nothing.
Yeah. That's, it's the way of the world sometimes.
No, I don't accept that. I don't.
You have to.
No,
because it's proven it's the way.
No, it's not. Because there are great series.
Name one other than Breaking Bad.
Let me see.
That ended perfectly.
No, I'm not saying that it needs to end perfectly.
No, but give me something that did not falter at the end.
I can give you movies.
We're not talking about movies right now. We're talking about TV series.
But why should we accept that?
I'm not saying that we have to accept.
You saying that this is the way of the world and we should just accept it.
You know what?
That's what you just said out of your mouth.
You're right. Okay, I'm saying that we should accept the fact that things are more times than not, we are not gonna get something that's gonna blow our socks off at the end of a series, unless the writing has proven and clearly shown that that's the way that they work.
It's so many factors to this though. That's why Game of Thrones is out of the league of a lot of different shows. First of all, George R. Martin, he wrote these books, right? We saw them have an opportunity. If I'm a writer and I'm producing this show, I forgot what season. I think it was either end of season 6 or either season 7 or something like that, where the books in the show, it is separated. You as a writer, you have so much support. HBO wanted you to do 10 episodes. You have the chance to go down in history as a writer. Your name will be known forever. It's some storylines, it's books that we know forever because of the stories that they wrote. And you just rush it and drop the ball so hard. Game of Thrones was built on this separating ourselves. Like every show was a movie. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I think I'm so disappointed. Like it's just not a regular show. It's just not a Fox show. It's not a AMC show. Like this has so much production.
It's an HBO show.
Yeah, and HBO like
well, okay.
The Wire was awesome. It ended great.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Like it's But Game of Thrones was on such a bigger level before season 8. That's what I'm saying. Like, this show was one of the greatest shows, and it still is. Still would be in the top 5 for me. But to see, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's just like you took something that people cared about and were so invested in it, and you didn't care about it. That's what I'm like. That's a slap in the face.
I feel you on that.
Like, you didn't care about it enough to put the time in, and this had more to do with your legacy than ours, because you're the writer. Like, now people can't stand these two writers.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared of Star Wars trilogy now. And Star Wars has been going down for a while now.
That's State Fair, Texas. That's State Fair, Texas.
What?
A lot of people around here, they say that's fair, so I say that's State Fair, Texas. I think we could go around in circles for hours talking about it, but I want to hear your official Zandemonium stamp on this as a whole. Give me your last minute summary of how you felt the entire series was.
I think that Game of Thrones as a whole was very refreshing. After Breaking Bad, I felt like, and then during this Netflix era where you can binge watch anything, the anticipation of a show coming on the next week, and the amount of support, the amount of conversations that were had with Game of Thrones is something that I don't think any show can rival. Great writing, great perspective on different perspectives were given during this whole series. Surprises, character development was great, and I felt like season 8 was a flat tire to the journey that it could have been. And okay. I still think that Game of Thrones is top 5, but I'm very disappointed in this last episode. I agree that it was some type of closure, but it felt like you gave me a Hot Pocket instead of the dinner that I deserved.
And for me, I feel like Game of Thrones has been a great show. I think it's been a tragic show. It's had a tragic ending, which is kind of poetic along with the actual show, because the show is all about tragedy in pursuit of this one main goal. But as a whole, I still consider it in the top 5 of all-time shows for now that I've seen. But in a lot of ways, it's kind of gone the same way as of a lot of shows, where they're really, really strong, but for some reason at the very end, it's like it just can't be tied together cohesively and make a lot of sense. So I think it's great. I think it still is a great show. It had an okay ending, but that okay ending and the steep decline from the last season had taken it away from amazing status. But it'll always be a great show, and I don't mind going back to rewatch it again. So with all that being said, I am 100% looking forward to Mr. Robot. Because the writing is immaculate. It's immaculate. It really is.
I know we get to the end.
We gonna do it.
But I've been hearing you talk about this, the writing and stuff. That's how I felt with Game of Thrones. And if at the end of Mr. Robot they just jam some stuff together, wouldn't you feel disappointed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of the potential.
Yeah. If Mr. Robot ends the same way that Game of Thrones is, I'll be just as pissed off as you.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm more invested in Mr. Robot than I was Game of Thrones, probably because I've had a lot of time to anticipate it, and just really I got more invested in the other shows because I was really high on Game of Thrones. I was telling everybody to watch it. And then now I'm extremely high on Mr. Robot, and I want everybody to watch it because it's such an amazing show right now.
And I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'm gonna trust Matt. I'm gonna jump out there. He hasn't led me wrong yet in the shows that I like to watch because he kind of we're like brothers. He knows the type of shows that I like. We're gonna do a series on Mr. Robot. Let us know if there's any series that we need to be watching. Email us, put it in the comments, and we want to thank you. We're back. DLC guys are back. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, turn on your notifications. 5 stars on iTunes. Let's keep it going. Let us know what you felt. A 1 out of 10 score on Game of Thrones. What did you feel? All right, and we'll see you back next week. All right, I'm out.
Peace.
Peace.